While carrying out routine coastguarding and training, these sailors spotted an elephant in the water in distress. Rushing to its rescue, what they found underwater was unexpected. On what seemed like a normal routine day for the Sri Lankan naval officers operating along the coastal rivers for daily coastguarding, patrols, and naval training, nothing could have prepared them for the unusual and different routine that awaited them. While operations were being carried out dutifully, everyone was immersed in their tasks. However, one of the naval officers had a chance to get lost in the scenery of the waters when his eye caught the sight of something quite strange and unusual. At first, it seemed like a big gray rock was floating in the waters a distance away. He tried to discern the distant object, wondering if it was an underwater marine vessel, some other anomaly they often encountered in these waters. However, the distance of about 10 miles, coupled with the churning waves and the current of the water, made it difficult to make out any details clearly. Just when this observant officer was about to dismiss the sight, he noticed that it was actually a living creature, moving and seemingly in distress. Surprised and curious, the naval officer strained his eyes, squinting against the glare of the sun reflecting off the water. Alerting his fellow officers aboard the ship of the potential threat or distressing situation, they quickly fetched their binoculars, hoping to get a better view. As they focused on the distant figure, their hearts sank at what they saw. Despite years of experience patrolling the coast and encountering unexpected events, nothing could have prepared them for this sight. There, amidst the vast expanse of water, was a young elephant struggling to keep its head above the rising tide. The heartbreaking scene of the majestic creature battling against the relentless waves stirred deep emotions within the officers. They could only imagine the fear and desperation coursing through the animal as it fought for survival in the unforgiving sea. Despite their lack of experience in animal rescues, the officers were determined to save the stranded elephant, even if it meant deviating from their planned routine task for the day. However, they feared a daunting challenge. How could they possibly rescue such a colossal and heavy creature from the water? But the officers refused to back down in the face of adversity. They knew they had to devise a plan to save the distressed animal, and they were willing to do whatever it took to make it happen. With all hands on deck and their focus squarely on the rescue mission, the officers began brainstorming ideas and mobilizing resources. Lacking specialized equipment for such an unusual task, they relied on their ingenuity and determination to improvise a solution. Several officers volunteered to assist with the rescue effort, boarding a smaller boat and setting out towards the stranded elephant. As they approached, they couldn't help but wonder how it had ended up trapped so far from shore, all alone in the vast expanse of the ocean. Elephants, known as the planet's most gigantic creatures, possess remarkable swimming abilities despite their massive size and weight. With buoyant bodies and elongated trunks that can function as snorkels, they are adept swimmers and can traverse rivers and bodies of water with relative ease. However, the distressed elephant, later named Jumbo, found itself in a perilous situation in the middle of its journey while attempting to cross the waters. The officers later learned that Jumbo had been attempting to cross the Kokolai Lagoon, situated off the country's northeast coast, when disaster struck and he was swept out to sea. It was a heartbreaking realization, knowing that Jumbo had likely been in the midst of a routine migration or search for food when he encountered unexpected challenges. As the volunteered naval officers approached the distressed elephant, they maintained a cautious distance. They knew they couldn't risk agitating him further, especially considering his fatigue and desperate struggle to stay afloat. Tears welled in the eyes of the naval officers as they witnessed the dire condition of the magnificent animal. They understood the urgency of the situation and began devising a plan to rescue him. With no straightforward method to lift Jumbo onto their boat due to his immense weight, the sailors faced a daunting challenge. Even if they could somehow hoist him, the risk of capsizing their vessel loomed large. Undeterred by the obstacles, the sailors resolved to secure a rope around Jumbo's head and carefully tow him to safety. It was a risky maneuver, but they knew they had to try. Every moment counted in saving the elephant's life. Little did they know there was more to Jumbo's plight than met the eye. As they prepared to execute their plan, an unexpected surprise underwater awaited them. Some of the naval officers donned their diving suits, preparing to approach the distressed elephant underwater. They moved with utmost care, aware of the need not to startle Jumbo further. Slowly but steadily, they swam closer, their hearts pounding with the weight of the task ahead. Upon reaching Jumbo, one of the divers cautiously mounted his back, aided by his colleagues. With practiced precision, they secured a rope firmly around the elephant's massive frame, ensuring it wouldn't slip or come loose during the rescue operation. With the rope securely in place, the sailors began executing their plan, starting the boat engines and slowly pulling Jumbo towards safety. However, as they started to move, Jumbo let out a loud trumpet of distress, causing the officers to exchange worried glances. Despite their best efforts to ease his discomfort, the more they pulled, the louder Jumbo's cries became. It was evident that something was seriously wrong, casting a shadow of concern over the rescue mission. Could it be a predator lurking in the depths? Or was something else, something far more unusual at play? Lost in thought, the sailors suddenly noticed a pinkish hue spreading through the water around Jumbo. Dread settled in their hearts as they realized that Jumbo was injured and the scent of blood could attract sharks, posing an even greater threat to the struggling elephant. With time running out and the danger escalating, the sailors faced a critical decision. They couldn't abandon Jumbo, but they also couldn't risk a confrontation with sharks. The situation seemed more dire than ever before. Driven by urgency, the divers who had secured the rope took a bold leap into the water, determined to assess Jumbo's injuries firsthand. With careful movements, they approached the distressed elephant, their eyes scanning for any sign of what could be causing his agony. Their hearts sank as they discovered the source of Jumbo's suffering. A large fishing trap entangled around his hind leg, its sharp spikes digging deep into his flesh. It was a gruesome sight, explaining Jumbo's cries of pain and the urgency of their rescue efforts. The divers knew they had to work quickly and efficiently to remove the spikes from the fishing trap. They braced themselves for the possibility of Jumbo lashing out in pain, preparing to dodge any kicks that might come their way. To their astonishment, Jumbo remained remarkably calm as they carefully worked to free him from the trap. Despite his obvious discomfort, he seemed to understand that they were trying to help him, sparing them from any aggressive outbursts. As the minutes ticked by, the divers painstakingly removed each spike from Jumbo's injured leg, their hands moving with precision and care. Despite the tension in the air, there was a sense of relief as Jumbo's distress call subsided, replaced by a quiet acceptance of their assistance. After what felt like an eternity, the last of the spikes was finally removed from Jumbo's leg. Though he still bore the marks of his ordeal, the worst was over, and they could now safely begin the journey back to the shore. With the spikes removed and Jumbo's trust earned, the sailors returned to their boats, ready to guide the weary elephant to safety. Slowly and steadily they began the arduous journey back to land, mindful of Jumbo's weakened state and the importance of not overwhelming him. Despite their careful efforts, it became clear that Jumbo's strength was waning. Each step was a struggle, his once mighty frame now diminished by exhaustion and injury. Yet, with determination fueling their every move, the sailors pressed on, their eyes fixed on the distant shoreline. It was a race against time, every passing moment bringing them closer to safety and the hope of a new beginning for Jumbo. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they reached solid ground, the weight of their accomplishment over them. Jumbo, though too weak to celebrate, stood on shaky legs, his eyes reflecting a mixture of gratitude and exhaustion. With the elephants safely on solid ground, the sailors felt a sense of relief wash over them. Though his journey to recovery was far from over, they knew they had given him a fighting chance at survival. However, they realized that their mission wasn't just about rescuing Jumbo. It was also about reuniting him with his herd. Determined to see their task through to the end, they resolved to locate the rest of Jumbo's family, ensuring he wouldn't be alone in his recovery. As they made plans to search for Jumbo's herd, the sailors knew that immediate medical attention was crucial for the injured elephant. Without hesitation, they contacted the nearest veterinary clinic, explaining the urgency of Jumbo's situation and requesting assistance. Soon, the veterinarians arrived at the scene, equipped with the necessary gear to administer medical treatment to Jumbo. Despite their lack of proper equipment for an animal rescue and no previous experience in such endeavors, the naval officers had taken upon themselves to save Jumbo. The veterinarians couldn't help but admire their bravery and selflessness in the face of adversity. With Jumbo tranquilized and carefully moved to a nearby enclosure, the veterinarians began their work. They knew that time was of the essence in treating his injuries and restoring his strength. With skillful hands and compassionate hearts, they administered treatments to ease Jumbo's pain and help him heal. As the tranquilizers took effect and Jumbo drifted into a peaceful slumber, the veterinarians remained by his side, monitoring his condition closely. They were determined to do everything in their power to ensure his recovery, promising to stay by his side until he was well again. In the days that followed, Jumbo received round-the-clock care from the dedicated team of veterinarians. With each passing day, he grew stronger, his wounds slowly healing under their expert care. While Jumbo received treatments and care, the compassionate naval officers embarked on a mission to find and trace the whereabouts of the rest of his herd. Through determined efforts and careful tracking, they discovered that Jumbo's family had swam across the Kakai Lagoon, a challenging stretch of water nestled between two areas of dense jungle. A few days later, with Jumbo showing significant signs of recovery, the sailors made preparations for his long-awaited reunion with his herd. Rather than allowing him to cross the lagoon alone, they decided to accompany him, ensuring his safe passage to the other side. With Jumbo discharged from the veterinary care and looking stronger than ever, the sailors felt a sense of pride as they guided him aboard the larger vessel. With gentle hands and steady determination, they navigated the waters, their hearts filled with anticipation for the reunion that awaited them. Arriving at the shallower part of the lagoon, the sailors anchored their boat and helped Jumbo disembark onto the sandy shore. As he began to walk through the shallow waters towards dry land, something unexpected happened. Jumbo turned around and let out a loud trumpet of gratitude, his way of thanking the naval officers for saving his life. Moved by Jumbo's display of appreciation, the sailors felt a surge of warmth in their hearts. They knew that their efforts had not only protected the shores of their coastal areas, but had also saved a distressed animal from the brink of death. However, their surprises were far from over. Jumbo's trumpet had caught the attention of other elephant herds in the area, and soon they began to emerge from the jungle, drawn by the familiar sound. Initially, the sailors worried that they might have brought Jumbo to the wrong herd, fearing a territorial dispute that could endanger him further. But to their astonishment, the other elephants greeted Jumbo with trumpets of joy, rubbing their bodies together in a show of affection and reunion. Among the herd, two smaller elephants stood out, displaying an emotional intensity that tugged at the sailors' hearts. It was evident that they shared a special bond with Jumbo, perhaps as siblings or close relatives. As they watched the beautiful scene unfold before them, the sailors felt a profound sense of fulfillment. They had not only saved a life, but had also played a crucial role in reuniting a family torn apart by circumstances beyond their control. As Jumbo embraced his herd once more, the sailors couldn't help but smile, knowing that they had been a part of something truly extraordinary. In that moment, amidst the beauty of nature and the bonds of family, they realized the true power of compassion and teamwork. What a beautiful story of compassion and resilience. Would you swim underwater to check the injuries of a creature powerful enough to drown you with a single kick? Have you ever had to risk your life to save a distressed animal? Share your experiences in the comments. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.